pretty much anybody politically aware in the UK noticed that the government was introducing new requirements for voting to produce photo ID, which is a significant change, given that no ID has been ever needed in the history of the country. So when the government announced quite a lot of changes to elections and the way everything worked, this was going to have a big impact potentially on who was actually voting, and a potentially unpredictable effect on the outcome.
Since 2014, there have only been 14 people who have been convicted of any sort of voting offence at polling stations. So the whole idea of voter ID was a sledgehammer to crack a nut. It was totally unnecessary. We were very concerned, and a lot of people were very concerned, that there would be certain demographics who would find it difficult to find the right ID, get access to the correct forms of ID, and vote in polling stations on the day. And in fact, even down to the types of identity document that the government allowed you to use, there were things like over 60s bus passes were totally acceptable, whereas the equivalent for young people was not. So there were all sorts of strange applications of this new rule that made it potentially likely that certain types of person might not be able to vote easily.
This was a small lobbying campaign which we called Voter ID, Tell the Government What You Think. ActionButton slotted very nicely into our existing processes and what we do.
Our supporters found it very easy to use. I think because it was a tool that we hadn't used before, we were always concerned, will people know what button to press and how to use it? Will it feel easy to use to them? And clearly it did. We had over 3,000 people use it very quickly, and the feedback has been great. Having the two tools, ActionButton and NationBuilder, working together and combined makes it so easy for us, because everybody who took part in the campaign is automatically tagged as having taken part in that campaign, and we can go back to that audience again when we did receive the response from the minister, to go back to everybody who had sent an email and know that we were talking to the right people, and say, look, the minister's written back to you and this is what they've said and this is what we think about it and what we're doing next. So it's made the whole process really, really easy, and hopefully means that those people feel like they have taken part in a campaign that has had an effect, and that it's an ongoing campaign, and we're interested in what they want to do next as well.